How much time? 30? 30 seconds. I'm on right now. I don't believe you.
Run.
What?
Muchachos, buenos noches. Welcome to the Brews at 10 on my left eye. I'm your host Lefty. Hope you're all well this evening. Let's brew this thing. $10, which is pizza minus 15 for Davinia, who was in first in the charts. Very early again, actually, 2 hours early. That's dedication, people. The shouty bloke could be playing a game. Is it Shop and Nazi? Because we can all join in with that one. Stop Capitalism and Shop and Nazi. That's a game. Good luck, whatever you playing though, shouty bloke. Thanks for joining us on stream. Mo's with us as well. Getting busy with some rare finger lime. Layering a rare finger lime. And that's certainly a sentence you have to say slowly after a couple of shots. Hope your pizza is on time. Edward Sexby's also with us. Keeps updated on the pizza division. Great to see you, Edward Sexby, as well. Guitar Guy, Flow Snake, Aaron Gray. Lots of people join us as we kick off the stream. Solidari-Tea, everybody. Make sure you hit thumbs up. It looks as though you're all doing well. First live stream of the week. Some stories and bits and pieces to catch up on prior to tomorrow's PMQs, of course. Plenty to dive into. More about the I.C.E. and the pushback as well. In fact, video came out not long before we came on stream. Please do check that one out. That's about the pushback, both from law enforcement and citizens. So please do enjoy that one. Members have the pleasure of early viewings on that one. please do leave a comment as well. I cannot stress how important leaving comments is, as well as sharing on social media, people. In fact, let's gear up the whole stall. Let's begin the hype, the self-promotion. Let's hype this thing. Shout out to all the members on the channel. Yes, our Newcon supporters by sharing on social media, commenting on recent content. Also joining with a membership. You can add your name to this list of incredible people. It's just 99 pence. That's a fraction of the price of a tasty hot beverage, people. Super chats are also open if you are watching live. Super thanks if you watch it back later. And there's Buy Me a Coffee page. Check out the link in the description of the stream. Thank you very much to everybody whose names appeared on the screen. Thanks again to everybody who's gifted memberships recently, as well as renewing your own, and that's got us up to 155 at the moment. With the target of 250. Thanks again, everybody. Solidari-Tea. I think that was an excellent initial wave of self-promotion. Now it's up to you to hit all the relative buttons. The sharing, the notification bell also, and the comments. Edward Saxby, you're getting on the bus, listening to the stream. I hope it's going to Revolution City. I feel as though I've neglected to say something in the self-promotion and whatnot. Oh, a quick tip for all viewers, please do change the live chat to live chat instead of top chat. That way you won't miss out on other people's comments. I don't know why it doesn't just default to that anyway, to be honest. There you have it. So do make sure that you're on live chat. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. You can join others and share your thoughts. Once again, a reminder, if you've got any pertinent points or questions, super chat is open, as well as super stickers. That's the other thing I forgot to mention, I think. But for now, the stall is closed. On to Starmer bashing and whatnot. I don't know.
Oh God!
All right, crack on with things. Can you dig that, people?
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
What? Is the mic on? It is on. Yeah. So what's coming up? As I mentioned, I.C.E. stuff, I.C.E. A bit more about the Iran protests. Got a couple of interesting clips. We mentioned that on stream on Sunday. Especially how all of a sudden certain right-wing figures are very enthusiastic about protest, specifically protests in Iran. Also, certain noted misogynists suddenly caring about women's rights. A little bit more about that coming up later. Also, speaking of Starmer, it could be that he is going to be on the Gaza board. This is Trump's Gaza board for who he wants to essentially take over Gaza after he's helped Israel annex it. More on that, as well as a couple of very interesting polls, actually, as polls go. I don't think, they're not going to hang it in the Louvre, but a couple of polls to look at. One of which is actually pretty shocking, as well as it's a bit of a bombshell, to be honest. But I won't give any spoilers, because it adds to the watch time of the stream, you see. It's a tease. These are some fine carrots I'm bringing on sticks for you, dear viewers. Also, there's been some announcements about Scottish income tax, inheritance tax, that kind of thing today. We'll also take a look at the announcement this week that Nadim Zahawi, former Tory, will now be joining other Tories in the Tory Auxiliary Party, which is Reform UK PLC, which isn't even a party. A couple of comedy clips to bookmark proceedings as well. No, bookend proceedings. Purple carrots, Aaron? I don't know what the selection is. I'll have to speak to the carrot chef. Do we have we don't have a carrot chef, do we? We'll work on that. JK, great to see you. The headlines are somewhat depressing though, but we're all here together in solidarity. We're going to try and make the most of a bad situation. Let's stay positive, people. It's a tough challenge that we face as socialists. And the truth can't be ignored. Specs being farmer, nice to see you as well. Thank you very much for joining us on stream. I think that's all the carrots on sticks taken care of. I can see a few of you haven't hit the thumbs up button yet though. Please do that as you join. No poll this evening. Possibly. Aaron, yes, that is actually correct about the carrots. They were sort of genetically manufactured to be orange. Not in laboratories, through farming. And potatoes used to be multicoloured as well. Excellent horticultural point. So I think Morbius has got us going with a bit of that. Nothing wrong with that. Good old Earth, good old planet. What would we be without carrots and potatoes? Solid, staple diet. So shout out to all the allotment owners. Okay, I'll leave that one to Brew in the chat. Started a bit of a debate about the evolution of root vegetables. And why not? But we'll get going with a comedy clip here on stream. Quite a short one, short but sweet, from the Exploding Heads and Colin from Portsmouth. He's got another gripe. Why haven't we invaded Belgium?
Colin from Portsmouth's on the line. Hello, Colin.
I am thinking, Anthony, absolutely
Oh, no.
thinking.
That doesn't sound good. That sounds ominous, Colin. What are you thinking about?
And I think Keir Starmer needs to stop being so timid and start learning from the greats.
Right, the greats of what? Diplomacy?
Exactly, yeah, like Donald Trump.
Okay, how are we going to learn from Donald Trump then?
Annexation, Anthony.
Right,
Bold move.
I thought you might say
Big
that,
backs,
yeah.
Confidence. Look at Belgium, just sat there doing nothing.
You always talk about invading Belgium, Colin. Can you give Belgium a rest? You've been talking about invading Belgium for years. It's a sovereign country.
For now, I'm saying we pop over, we take it, and we call it Greater Kent.
Right.
Job done. That's where the EU is. We need to hit them right where it hurts.
Yeah.
Let von der Leyen know we're here.
You can't just annex Belgium as much as you want to, Colin.
Why not? What are they going to do? Throw chocolate at them?
Because it's international law. Starmer's a big fan of international law, at least he pretends to be on occasion.
Law's only law until someone annexes you, Anthony. This gives us waffles. It gives us beer that tastes like fruit. All that foreign muck. Think of the tourism, mate. Although why anyone would want to go there beats me. Awful country. You couldn't pay me to go there. Unless we're invading, in which case I'll do it for mates rates. Anyway, mate, thanks for having me on. Love to the family.
Love to the family, Colin. Love to the
And
family.
we might even win Eurovision. Although I think we should vote ourselves out of Eurovision.
Exploding Heads. Do go and subscribe. There's a link in the description of the stream, actually. Colin from Portsmouth, irate as ever there. Yeah, of course, the right are always demanding that we stamp down our authority. Think that we still rule the world to the barrel of a gun. But then one refugee steps off of a raft or a dinghy. No, we're being invaded. Some of them want... Oh no. So on. But that was another great episode from Exploding Heads. Let's get into clips and things. It's been pretty quiet since Renee Good was murdered by the I.C.E. in Cup. Oh dear. Oh well. I say quiet. Take a look at this one, people. That's 1, 2, at least 3 cars on fire. There's some potentially copyrighted music over that, so can't play the audio. Speaking of which as well, actually, the last video, that is not a stream, video that we had out on the channel, has unfortunately been subjected to very limited /no ads or monetization. I did put in an appeal which has been rejected. It might be something to do with the fact that certain symbols appear in the thumbnail and the content. So there's one example of the pushback against ICE. Of course, the mortal enemy of ICE is fire. I'm not encouraging arson in saying that, but it's just sort of poetic in a certain way. I believe that was taken somewhere in Minnesota, possibly Minneapolis. But part of this following clip features in the most recent video on the channel. We're going to take a look through this. Great stuff. It's rare that you'd hear me say that about law enforcement official, but here we are. Yeah, Rochelle Bilal, who's the sheriff of Philadelphia, held no quarter really when she said how she'd respond if ICE came into her jurisdiction. Let's see what's happening.
Good afternoon. I'm Rochelle Bilal, the sheriff for the city and county of Philadelphia. And I say her name, Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good.
Renee Good.
This should not have happened, people. But we're here today. Let know that law enforcement professionals, real ones, not the fake made-up ICE, probably Trump's new army to attack citizens of the United States. Did you hear what I said? No law enforcement professional wears a mask. None. None. Those that come into our communities wearing a mask to commit crime, thank God for our district attorney, Larry.
And that's one of the biggest elements of the entire cowardice of their actions, really. Not only are they hiding behind Trump, if anything, they've ramped things up since Renee Good was unlawfully killed, was murdered, just days ago. But they hide behind masks, they hide their identity. These aren't easily identifiable people, and they're just all about gangster tactics, mob tactics. Yeah, how many different adjectives have we used, and, you know, references to historical enforcement agents, you know, the Gestapo, the stormtroopers, his brown shirts, Sturmtabling, whatever. But they hide. And a lot of these people are ex-criminals. A lot of these agents are the ones that were pardoned by Trump. These are the insurrectionists of January 6th. Some of them have even been identified in the videos from January 6th, and then later identified harassing citizens, US citizens. And they're just going for everybody, whether it's inside the jurisdiction or outside the jurisdiction. This is supposed to be a border force control agency. It's operating hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles away from the borders. Canada, the Mexican border. There's not too many borders with the United States of America because there's two whopping great big bodies of water either side of it to the east and west. So, going around places like Minneapolis, Philadelphia, New York, they're nationwide. Even in deep red states, even in the reddest heart of Kansas, people have been stepping up against the I.C.E. This is where people probably have tattoos of Ronald Reagan and George Bush. I'll leave which areas of the body the tattoos are on to debate in the chat, but this is hardcore Republican territory, and even they say that this is beyond the pale. Like anybody with two brain cells to rub together does. But yeah, let these see, you eventually run out of adjectives. These pieces of shit, let them be named and shamed. They can't hide behind ski masks or scarves around the face, whatever it is, because these are law enforcement agents who need to be held to account as well. Faces, badge numbers, the whole rest of it. Because we know who shot Renee Good. And I guess I still have to say, no, I'm not going to say allegedly, it was Jonathan Ross. It's still very bizarre that he shares his name with a UK talk show host. Well, there we go. He's been identified, but there are going to be many that aren't. But not in Philly. Absolutely not. Not on Rochelle Bilal's watch. Let's see some more of this.
Craftsman, who say he's going to lock him up, and I'm saying now, we are not going to whisk you away for them to hide your identity, because when you do it there, you're getting arrested there. No whisk away for them to hide you. None of that here. None of that here. Law enforcement professionals do not shoot at moving vehicles. I'm not saying fleeing, because she wasn't fleeing. She was getting out of the way.
Yeah, what do they think this is? Like some TV fucking cop show? Or something like that? CSI Minnesota. Well, not even that, because that's a detective show. You know what I mean? They think they're in Hollywood. And it's all... yeah. Shoot at a moving vehicle, doesn't matter. They call it collateral damage or whatnot, but there's just no accountability whatsoever as well. That, as well as the hiding of the identity, I think is one of the worst and most frustrating elements for me, the most irritating elements, when you go right up the chain, Trump, Kristi Noem, going along with this propaganda, really insulting our intelligence with what they want us to believe about Renee Good. Trump described her actions as disrespectful, but of course, as I pointed out on social media recently, I'd argue that 3 lethal shots followed by fucking bitch or fuck you bitch, whatever it was, to Trump doesn't count as respectful, as disrespectful. What a piece of shit.
Law enforcement professionals do not stand in front of moving vehicles invoking an action that is illegal. No, we don't. And so we stand here today with all those who stand against the made-up, fake, what you can call ICE, professional law enforcement. I don't call them none of that. I call them made-up, fake, wannabe law enforcement. Because what they do is against...
Yeah, more good point there. Of course, these other so-called organisations, Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, the Klan, again, going back to the insurrection, a lot of those were obviously involved with that, arrested there, pardoned by Trump. Other members of ICE, it's turned out, have been arrested for heinous crimes, indecent images of children, soliciting sex from a minor, this kind of thing. And when arrested, in one case, I can't remember too much about the specifics, but all that the agent said to the police was, "Dude, I'm ICE, bro." Like it's a magic spell, the magic word, and it just gets them off the hook. I think examples like that alone go to show how they think that they're immune, the absolute hubris and impunity that they have. They feel so untouchable, and in essence they almost are made untouchable. They're given the blessing by Trump, their messiah. But even Donald Trump can be held accountable to the law. J.D. Vance can as well, and it's not for either of those douchebags or Kristi Noem to be able to turn around and say that I.C.E. agents have complete immunity, because they can't, because it doesn't work like that, even in America. But I did see I don't have the, not a meme, but an Onion, a photograph from the Onion, which might be paraphrasing here, but it said that basically archaeologists in 500 years or whatever might discover that actually Congress was also used to write laws and enact them, which they might find quite difficult to believe in 500 years' time, the way that the United States of America are heading. So yeah, that was a good one from The Onion. But it's true. It's on the nose, you can't argue with that.
It's not only legal law, but the moral law. So I'm with the DA, and we will work with them. If any of them want to come in this city and commit a crime, you will not be able to hide. Nobody will wish you off. You don't want this smoke, because we will bring it to you. And the fake, whatever they call them, because I can't say the name.
She literally can't bring herself to say the Pumpkin Spice Palpatine's name. It's one of those, and I think I don't know if the DA is out of shot or if it's one of the two gentlemen behind her, but I'm sure that they agree as well. This is a professional, you know. This is the sheriff. This isn't some spokesperson or whatnot. This is the Philadelphia sheriff on TV. Believe this went out live, refusing to say the name of the president. How's about that, people? If ever we've been closer to civil war in the United States since the last one, of course, then I'd be happy to know, or curious to know, when you think that might be. Because it looks as though here in 2026 it's closer than ever.
But the criminal in the White House would not be able to keep you from going to jail. Renee Good should be here today. And to her family, we are saying law enforcement professionals are not the ones here in this city that would do that.
And just whilst we're on the topic of saying Renee Good's name out loud, that's something that Trump refused to do when he made that quote about her being, air quotes, disrespectful. That's, again, going back to the mob mentality, this gangster shit. That's like something out of a mob film. What, 3 lethal shots for being disrespectful? What kind of a king planet does he think we live on? Well, balls to Trump. And well said there. Good stuff from Rochelle Bilal, Sheriff of Philadelphia. Just seen a couple of comments in the chat about the audio levels. Is everything okay for everybody? Is it general audio levels, the clips, or my improvised narration? Whichever it is. Just let me know if everything's okay at your end. Are you receiving me, people? I can see we've got Graham Turner in the chats as well as Doc Davies. Great to see you both. Solidari-Tea. Oh, Ross's family disowned him. And they say he's been a reactionary bastard. Bastard. Give me a second, I'll get the full thing. Alan Beresford Bastard, the Member of Parliament for Halton Price. Yes. Disowned. Well, deservedly so. Led to believe he does have an immigrant spouse. Was it Taiwanese or Korean? I can't exactly recall the country of origin. Oriental, if you'll forgive the phrase. But that's good to know. Not surprised that he's been like that for a long time. And that's why they wear masks. Because because they must know somewhere that their acts are so shameful. Okay, turn the background music down a little bit more there. Yeah, Graham, Trump live on TV, boasting about not having to abide by any international laws. Average DBM. Alright, another clip now of the pushback. This one was in that last video as well, but I do like this one. I'd like to know what you think about it as well. So it's a gas station. They call it gas in America. Well, it is gasoline, which is actually different from petroleum, which is why they don't call it petroleum. In fact, when it's refined, never mind. We'll get straight into the clip, but it is a gas station because it is gasoline. Someone's just filling the car up, and one of them goes over, demands to see, you know, Papier unbidden. And he says he knows that he doesn't have to. He said, I don't have to show you my ID. It sounds as though in the clip there has already been a crowd following ICE around because there's a little bit of background noise, whistles and that sort of thing. You're going to see that in the clip. But then they enter the forecourt and essentially chase them off. Do a very good job of it. It's quite satisfying to see this as well. And that's a fair question there in the chat as well, Floor Snake. If someone was attacked by masked people and did the, air quotes, ultimate self-defense, not realising it was ICE, would they be found guilty? This has not yet been tested in court. We'll see. And I've been thinking for a while, it might only be a matter of time before something happens, like they go for an off-duty police officer or something, or a plainclothes police officer, detective, whatever, and there's something happens there. That could be, you know, this is a tinderbox as it is, with enough sparks flying around between the police and ICE and citizens and ICE. Could all kick off here in 26. What a great time to be alive, people. In the meantime, just before we get into this one, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Let's continue doom scrolling with the gas station incidents. It's hard to tell what the citizen are you, and the guy's just like, you know, just filling my car up with gas, sir. like I said, it is a bit hard to tell what he's saying because someone's on the megaphone there. Unless it's the actual gas station attendant over the tannoy, you know, when they might normally say something over the tannoy, like, oh, that pump's broken or whatever, because Just Stop Oil have been here. There's, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it was like, you know, that guy, get the fuck out of my fucking forecourt right now, motherfucker. No, I just brought this just brought this shiny car with me off the raft as well. We landed on the coast of Oregon, which has the largest unprotected area of coastline in the entire United States, continental United States of America. And here it is, and I'm filling it up with gasoline, because, yeah, and that is within immigration control, border controls remit, this guy thinks. So a couple of other, and look, again, with the dark glasses, and it's, well, appears to be a fairly cloudy day, not too sunny to warrant the glasses. It's all disguise. You will rarely, if ever, see a plain-faced one. You know, some of them don't want to expose their SS tattoos and stuff, I guess, or the fucking whatever they have, fucking 88 and all that shit, that they think is subtle or whatever, but they might as well just have the fucking armband on, the whole caboodle, and the fucking boots and all. Goose-stepping motherfuckers. I think he shows it to him even though he knows he doesn't have the right to, but this is where people start to appear. A lot of them are filming, possibly live streaming. And then one guy in particular stands out who's filming while he really gives out to one of these guys. I think it might be this guy here. Speaking to someone who doesn't have a ski mask on in a rare event. Oh, he does have sunglasses on, not completely open-faced.
I'm not gonna get out of your city, number one. Yes, get the fuck out. Yes, you clearly. Oh, what does that say? Border Patrol. Yeah, you're a fucking Nazi. You work for the fucking orange fascists and cheat.
The orange, yeah, so. Again, pointing out that their border control, this is like I don't know, however many hundreds, potentially thousands of miles away from borders. Tell them to fuck off and that they work for the orange fascists. Very good. Preach. Let's just rewind a bit and listen to this guy testify. Orange fascist in chief. And then your man comes up. Sir, we're pretty much fucked here. Yeah, we've got nothing. This was a bad move, and now look at all the fuss that you've created. He just comes over and he's like, nah, it's done. We're fucked. We're gonna have to go. The people have won.
Get the fuck out of our city!
You better get used to that, by the way.
You Nazi piece of shit! Number one, I'm not gonna get out of your city because I live here. Oh, you want to make? You want to make fucking? Okay, good for you. Good for you. You want to make fucking lampshades out of people's shit?
Yeah, you keep saying that shit as you're walking out the door, mofo. So he said, I'm not going anywhere. Walks off. The douchebag's not for turning. You turn if you want to. First of all, it's so childish, isn't it? I'm going, but it's not because I've been defeated. He said, walking away defeated.
You want to make fucking... Okay, good for you. Good for you. You want to make fucking lamb shank? You want to make fucking...
Let's go back a
Get
bit.
the fuck out of our city, you Nazi piece of shit! Number one, I'm not gonna...
So, well, getting even stronger there. So what's number one?
Number one, I'm not gonna get out of your city because I live...
He's not going anywhere.
Oh, you want to make... You want to make fucking... Okay, good for you. Good for you. You want to make fucking lamb shank?
Just let it go, I think. Just let it go.
Fuck you, Nazi piece of shit! Yeah, get the fuck out!
I don't know what this guy with the phone thinks about these guys. He's pretty much on the fence with the language that he's... No, it's really good. It's really good. More power to people like this. United States of America, 2026. So, what do you all think about that? Let's take a look in the chat. Do we have any Americans in chat at the moment? We get some great comments on the last video as well. Last couple of videos actually, from people in the States. Thank you very much if you're watching. Live or back later on. Keep them coming in. Of course, we might be thousands of miles away, but we do show solidarity here in these isles. And of course, we're being dragged into Trump's fascism as well. Graham, excellent point there as well. And that was highlighted by one of those clips on the Sunday live stream as well. The Native American shouting at I.C.E. Get the fuck off my lawn, yard, I think she was saying. Yeah, from people who were virtually eradicated from their own land by Europeans 250 years ago. So yeah, people can, obviously from England, these isles, there was a bit of a thing about that. Yeah. But as well as Spain, Portugal, France, the Netherlands, Holland, Scandinavian countries, Germany of course, all areas of Europe, Italy, notwithstanding. The irony of it all. Same here in Britain, with the fash in Britain. You'll get trolls on social media with names that have, you know, like, says such and such O'Reilly, you know. And in America, likewise. We don't want anybody coming here. Yes, you're absolutely right, Mr. McManaman, Mr. O'Shea, Mr. Diaz, Marco Rubio. Just to go back to that one, of course, obviously. Like I said on the last stream, you might want to consider changing his name to Johnny Chicago before he ends up as the next Ernst Rome. Bit of a dark history joke there for you people. This is my left eye. See what's going on in chat. We talking about astrology in the chat? Aaron. Yeah, I'm assuming what that's all about. Floor snake, you might be a snake, but you're not as much of a snake as you know who. Initials PM. Can't say the name. Mandy. I saw somebody post on social media earlier that even, what was it? Oh, that was it. Even an eel in a bath full of olive oil would be less slippery than Mandy. Again, can't say the full name. It's one of the political complexes you have from taking an interest in politics, sociology.
Socialists. Oh my God.
Took a while for the music to restart there, didn't it? Don't worry, all's well. Oh, I've jinxed it now. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was serious or not. We'll just get on to a different topic now, moving on. A couple of clips from the Iran protests I'd like to show to you, just briefly. Well, just to re-highlight, re-emphasise this bandwagon jumping that's happening at the moment. Even Netanyahu has appeared on TV and expressed support for protesters in Iran. Of course, like I said, during previous conflicts, he has, of course, urged uprisings and whatnot, failed to get them to happen. Nigel Farage as well, of course, Trump himself. And when people like that are saying that something is a good idea and should be happening, you should almost certainly, definitely, every time, move the opposite way. run the opposite way, because there's definitely something going on. If people like Farage, Trump, Netanyahu support the same thing, then it can't be that great of a thing, can it, people? Now, it might appear that this is about people's rights, people's liberation, especially women's rights liberation, and anti-misogynist marches, anti-oppression marches. It goes a hell of a lot deeper than that, people. I know a lot of you know it as well as I do. But I want to say this very loud and very clear. I do, of course, support women's rights. I do, of course, support people's freedom of expression and protest. You might have heard me make mention of that once or twice before on the channel, regular viewers, of course. So, any critique of this situation is certainly not coming from a misogynist angle or any kind of gamony anti-protest angle, let's be very clear about that. But whilst certain people, including, unfortunately, I have to say, some people who I know have been sharing mostly AI-generated images and whatnot of examples of women lighting cigarettes with these pictures of the Ayatollah. I don't know if you've seen those. Meanwhile, out on the streets, we've seen some particularly interesting examples of certain chants, certain topics, certain methods of igniting cigarettes that the mostly people on the right probably won't want to talk about. And like I said, it's been very interesting, hasn't it? Very interesting that all of a sudden the same kind of people who said that they would run over protesters if they ever came across them here in Britain if they were blocking a road, for example, might be supporting this. The same kind of people who troll and dox women, you know, absolute losers, who troll women on social media. That kind of thing now, all of a sudden. But it is, of course, where the far right are concerned, a very poor excuse to attack a majority Muslim country because they want to essentially promote Islam as a radical institution, religion, faith. And Christianity's never been extreme in any way, let's be very clear about that, people. But no, of course, that's a completely false narrative that they're trying to push. That, oh, look, look, how they don't like the women. So let's take a look at this first clip. I'm going to play it without, I say without context, obviously, you know, it's a protest march in Iran. But I'm not going to translate the chants until after I've played the clip. You might be able to make it out. One word in particular. No prizes for knowing what that means. That one at the end, that is. I don't know. Whilst, of course, these same far-right trolls online, you know, the do you condemn Hamas types, they will get the genocide deniers, the whataboutists, now claiming to support these protests. However, The chants, and I'm quoting the chant here, just want to be very clear, algorithm, which, you know, you really are looking great today, algorithm, by the way. So, the chant was actually, death to Israel, end quote. Yeah. So, I think once this information gets through to those trolls, they might actually have an aneurysm. The heads will explode. Like, even be severed from the torso. Who knows? Who knows? How they'll take the news. Steam out the ears? I think so. There'll be the smell of boiled piss wherever they are. So be warned, people. If you hear those popping noises and you smell that pissy smell, then one of them's just been informed. Irony of ironies. It just adds to the lunacy of this whole thing. I'm having difficulty processing it myself, just the irony of it. So there's exhibit number 1, and obviously at the end they were shouting Allahu Akbar, God is great. It's the same as saying praise God, God be praised. It's certainly not saying, you know, we're terrifying. The next thing we should take a look at is not an AI generated video, but real videos of real picture burnings taking place at these protests. So let's see what's happening here, but keep your eyes out, people. Take a close look at whose likeness, whose image is on the pictures as well. Can I make that out? I might just got some super tech here at my zoom and enhance. Oh, who might that be? Is it a certain Mr. Milikowski? Who, of course, is from no, Poland. Yep. It is he, one and the same. Just turn this down a bit. Sorry. In fact, I might mute the clip. There he is again. Under there. Oh, who's that actually? That's not Netanyahu. It'll come into... Can't make that one out. Oh, he's gone. No, he's totally... That's, yeah, he's totally Harvey Dent in that freeze frame. He's been Harvey Dented at that stage and the whole thing... No, he's gone. Who was that on the picture though? Because it didn't look like Netanyahu. Can anybody make that out? Sorry, it's slightly blurred. It'll just get blurrier the more I zoom in from there. It's folded, you see, the piece of paper. You can't quite work it out. That one you'd, you know, fold a banknotes to make whoever's on it make like some other celebrity. Or look like some other celebrity. Oh, that's what you don't like at work. Whoever it is. If you have one. If you ever used to do that. Back in the day. There's more of this though. Quite a lot more of this. I will keep the audio on the clip off for now. I think it does have copyrighted stuff on. multiple examples. It's upside down. That doesn't matter. So is Trump and his logic and his sense of reality. Careful. Don't singe your fingers. Trump's definitely not worth it. So yeah, that's not AI. So the USA Mossad backed protests certainly not being appreciated, but that is to say that theme isn't appreciated by everybody taking part. Just wanted to share those two examples with you. The other one being the chance, of course. So yeah, clips like that might come in handy the next time you find a troll jumping in your social media comments. Just away from Middle East matters for a little bit, we will go back to talk about Gaza later in the stream. We're just bringing things back home now and talking about some UK politics, including some stats that have come out, some recent polling. One of which, as I said earlier, is a bit of a bombshell. Bit of a bombshell. Or it certainly would be. If it happened, we'll have to see what transpires, of course. Okay, first of all, Keith's seat, Holborn St Pancras. As we know, it's previously been under threat by Workers' Party of Britain candidate Andrew Feinstein. There's also been an independent candidate before that as well, I think. I'll be coming on to him again in just a moment. But first of all, bring up the poll and bear Andrew Feinstein in mind when you do take a look at this poll as well, because this also includes your party. You're starting to see more polls appearing now that your party is officially a thing and officially called your party. They're appearing in the polls and some of the data now. Just one moment, people. Just need to sort a quick drink out. I'm getting a bit raspy. Okay, much better. Now I've wet my whistle with a hot tasty beverage. Take a look at this one. So, we've mentioned this before. Again, looks like Starmer himself, his seat, his very seat, is under threat, but from the Greens this time. So I mentioned Andrew Feinstein there, and you would notice that the Workers' Party of Britain and independent candidates are absent from the list of contenders here. The Greens being 6.5% in front of Labour, with a whopping 22.1% upturn. Labour tumbling by 22.9%. Reform coming third, and then Tories with 7% of the votes. After that, you can see your party there on just 2%. They've actually gone down. So I asked the question earlier on the Stats for Lefties page, it was actually, as to what Andrew Feinstein's current status actually is. Because you can see there, minus 16.9 for your party. No mention of him as an independent candidate, no mention of Workers' Party of Britain. Ergo, you'd have to assume he's at the moment either unaffiliated or is with the Greens. But if you go on Greens, this is in this would come under Camden, I think. Their candidate is still the same one as it was in 2024. So it appears that he isn't standing for the Greens. If you go on his social media, Wikipedia, it doesn't say that he's currently affiliated with any party. He mentions organisations that he's worked with before, and that he is a former independent candidate, but doesn't say anything about where he currently sits at the moment. Do any of you, any of our London viewers, have a clearer sense of what's going on? Specifically with Andrew Feinstein in Holborn St Pancras, I'd really like to know, because that was going to be a huge scalp for Andrew. It really was, and he's done a lot of hard work. He put in a great amount of effort into the campaign running up to the election in 24. So I'd like to think that all of that hard work will eventually be rewarded. Like I said earlier on social media, suffice to say, either way, I'm still glad to see that Starmer's going to lose his seat, and whether it's with Andrew Feinstein or not, I would of course congratulate the Green Party. That would be a great scalp for them as well, and another great power move by Zach Polanski, wouldn't it? So with 32.5% of the votes, it looks as though Starmer himself is going to be booted out of his own seat. They might hang that in the Louvre. I'm almost staring at it now, just almost captivated. Not a great thing of beauty. Would you have thought this, let's say in 2021? Maybe even before that? Just after Starmer took over, having pretty much usurped / purged his predecessor. How's about that? But yeah, this Your Party situation, I think this might be an isolated incident. The drop, that is, the 16.9%, just because of the Andrew Feinstein thing, because he, it's very convoluted. Was with Workers' Party, went to Your Party. Oh, I've not even mentioned the bank account with the £800,000 in it, and that was from all the collections after the party's initial success and all of the sign-ups. They had £800,000 in membership fees and donations and whatnot. I believe Andrew Feinstein had something to do with the company, the financial company that was holding that money, and then, according to Zara Sultana, withholding that money, which is what led to the row, and that he left your party. If anyone else has any further clarity on that, again, please do let me know. But that's pretty much what I know about it. And yeah, it's a mystery, as he just said, you know, sod it. I just, after all this fuss and maybe the argument has made him want to step out of politics for a bit. He is an author, and he's a financial expert as well, I believe. Very clever person, Andrew Feinstein. So maybe he's decided the headache, that sort of headache anyway, at least, wasn't worth it for him. But we'll see. Do let me know if you've got any updates on that. What's McFadden's seat looking like? Pat McFadden's seat. Good question, Graham. Look into that one. I won't do the voice. There's not been a Pat McFadden experience for quite a while, to be honest. They were pretty off the cuff, I think, when we put those together. The next one, though. Okay, strap yourselves in, people. If that poll was particularly shocking, we'll put this Andrew Feinstein business to one side. Again, he's a great guy. I'm sure that the Green candidate, whether it's him or not, is a nice person as well. Bollocks to Labour, bollocks to Reform, bollocks to the Tories, bollocks to Lib Dem. I do like your party as well, of course. I just want to see them get the shit together. Come on. Oh, there's more about... Oh, God. Might get off on a tangent here. But then I might forget to mention it later on and I'll be kicking myself. But I will just quickly mention there was something said earlier today about the, the leadership structure, how it's currently not a single leader. And Jeremy Corbyn's essentially trying to challenge that at the moment. There's no possibility of there being a single leader until 2027, which is only next year now, of course. So perhaps some more internal disagreements about that, but I don't want to get into the ins and outs of it all. Where that whole thing is concerned, I actually think that Corbyn is probably looking at things through the wisest lens, if you want to put it that way. He has a lot more experience, obviously, in Parliament and with politics than Sarah Sultana. She's far from naive. I'm not attempting to call her that. But essentially, I think I can see how she wants the party to be very democratic, but in doing so, you could accidentally, inadvertently open the door to agent provocateurs, phony agents, basically the same sort of neoliberals who turned the Labour Party into what it is now, which is the very last thing that they want to happen. But under Jeremy Corbyn's proposals, that would be a lot more difficult, near impossible. That's all I want to say about that, but it does sort of segue me onto this next poll, which you've now had plenty of time to strap yourselves in for whilst I went off on that tangent. It does concern Jeremy Corbyn himself. You might not believe this, people. He was first elected to Islington North in 1983 and has remained the MP ever since. Most recently winning it as an independent. But look at this. Look at this. It's a real tussle, and at the moment he appears to be marginally on the losing side to the Greens. Well, Labour again, 19.7. Not really. You can't really say that's a 3-horse race. I can't see that tightening. So 25.3 for your party, 27.7 for the Greens. You can see there. How's about that? That looks like a real one to watch. That is a white hot seat now for the next general election. Still not scheduled for a few years, but wow, white hot. So why don't they now? Again, this proves my point. This is why you should only have one socialist candidate in every seat. There has to be some sort of formal agreement, whatever it is. Because if they combine their efforts there, and you'll have to pardon the language and analogy I'm going to use here, but they'd absolutely piss all over the Islington North Labour candidate, whoever that poor bastard is parachuted in to be next time. Whether it's going to be the same as 24 or not, goodness knows. So what is that? 53%. 53% of the vote combined. Instead, it's a tussle. And, yeah. I still don't know entirely what I make of that, other than to say it's white hot and does prove my point I just made there about the single socialist candidate. It's got to be potent, you see. The vote, it really does thin out, dilutes the socialist vote. It's got to be as potent as it can be in every seat for the maximum amount of efficacy which you really need under this dreaded first past the post system. And don't get me started on that, mate, we'll be all fucking day. So, at the moment, Jeremy Corbyn looks set to lose his seat in Islington North. That's according to MRP, on a poll carried out between the 1st and 8th of December. So quite a while ago. No, but just recently published. Thanks again to Stats for Lefties for both of those polls. Let's see what you're saying about this in the chat, people. Oh, we were going to look at... Okay, I'll just very quickly, sneakily do that. I should know it myself, to be honest. Yeah, off the top of my head. It's one of the things that happens when you do any streams late at night. You can have the odd brain fart. He's the Duchy for Lancaster. I know that much. Of course. Let's see. I can hear the Pat McFadden Experience theme tune intro in my head right now, and just when it gets up to the... I think it mentions which seat. Oh, it's there in the chat as well. Yeah, Wolverhampton South East, of course. It's not in the intro, but I do mention... Oh, I mention the intro guy. That's... Yeah. It's the... Well, he was the Shadow Duchy, now the current Duchy. Wolverhampton South East, of course. It's so obvious now with that accent, isn't it? You're right there. Wolverhampton South East. Christ, Pat, you don't have to shout. Going deaf. Right. Any more thoughts about this poll? Graham, you think the Greens are still the most progressive at the moment? More, you want to see one leader in your party and you'd prefer Zara, but at this point anyone will do, just as long as it's one, I guess. Yeah. You think your party's dead in the water though, Davinia? No, I wouldn't say they were dead in the water. Massive swing there though. They have to combine. They have to combine their efforts. Some of you have been Googling MP star signs by Aaron. Keep that going if you like. Free chats, as long as you're not being abusive or trolly. Or a Tory. So let's get this off screen now. Enough of gawking at that poll. Still a bit of a head scratcher. Good news is a socialist, it appears, is set to get the seat or retain the seat, whether it's a gain or a retention or a hold. It's a technical term. Another shout out once again, Stats for Lefties, for bringing us those two polls. They don't do the polls, they share them, but they are definitely worth following on social media. If you want to keep up to date with the latest. Have to take them with a pinch of salt, of course. We did mention, yeah, Pat McFadden there. I will take a quick look at a matter that's come up north of the border today. I'm from Wolverhampton, South East, you can tell. My Brummy accent there. Do you think he goes to watch Wolves playing in the Premier League, maybe? Just stands there with the same expression, or lack of expression. Doesn't move. I'm delighted to be here. So, Scottish budget has been in the news. Let's see what's happening. Once the broadcast software decides to recognise what's on the screen. There we go. So, income tax changes and mansion tax on £1 million homes are the main features of the budget. That was announced by Shauna Robinson, you can see in the picture just there. And she said the proposals would mean 55% of taxpayers would pay less income tax than people living in the rest of the UK in the next financial year. That's April to April, by the way. Robinson also announced plans for a tax hike on homes worth more than £1 million sterling and an increase in the Scottish child payment. That's an increase. Are you listening, Keir Starmer? Yeah, naturally, more taxation on millionaires. While opposition MSPs welcomed some measures, they warned the budget would not deliver ding wide-ranging reforms. It's a £68 billion budget, which is a pretty chunky one for Scotland, which sets out proposals for the next financial year and beyond. Comes just 4 months before the Scots head to the polls for the Holyrood elections, of course. SNP looking to wipe out Labour. Look forward to that one. That will coincide, of course, with almost coincide with the absolute trouncing that Labour is set to get in the locals as well. Well, Robison said the tax and spending proposals would ensure pressure on families and budgets. What? Oh, sorry. I read that wrong. Would ensure pressure on families? Well, that's not what they want to happen. Would ensure pressure on families and family budgets will ease. Yeah, that's right. Economists said they also contain considerable cuts. Those are the bans, if you're interested. So, won't go through them all, but pretty much goes from the first £12,570 earned being tax-free to those over £125,140 being taxed at 48%, with various layers or tranches in between. As you can see there, feel free to pause the stream or whatever if you want to have a look at that. I'm not going to bother reading out the numbers. And just finally, there's a footnote there. You don't get the personal allowance if you earn over £125,140 a year. I guess you'll just have to get by somehow. That's more than the Prime Minister makes for being Prime Minister, anyway. That's more than the President of the United States of America gets paid. I guess you'll just have to see. You might, you know, just about get by. Poor you. So what do you think about that? I'd like to know from our viewers north of the border what you think about the proposed changes. Also, how much of an absolute drubbing you think Labour are going to get in Holyrood, and are you pro or against SNP or independence? Let me know in the chats or in the comments if you're watching back later. That's how things are at the moment in Scotland. Shout out to all Scottish viewers. Up Scotland. Next item of UK news. Just a quick one. This is something people were mostly talking about yesterday. Someone you can just barely, scrapingly by the bare minimum attempt to describe as former Tory Chancellor Nadhim Zahawi. What was it, for like 3 months or something, tops? Yeah, he was just basically he filled in after Johnson, after Johnson's demise. Anyway, he's defected. He's the latest Tory to defect to Reform, having previously been a staunch critic of Farage and the party itself. But let's let's make no bones about this, there's no debate where it comes to the fact that Nadeem Zahawi is, of course, an obvious careerist rat attempting to desert a sinking ship at this point, and yeah, it's just pure hypocrisy as well as open careerism. And he's certainly already one of the leading contenders for the Is This You awards. I don't know if any of you follow the Is This You thing, obviously. You know, there are actual proper pages dedicated to it on social media now, where you bring up an old quote from usually a celebrity or a politician in this case, where they've completely contradicted themselves. They've said that they would certainly do something and they never have, or that they would never do something, and now they actually have done it. And in Zahawi's case, he said he was a conservative for life, he would never join the Tory party, has put out multiple quotes, derogatory quotes about Nigel Farage. But in his attempts of a defence, he said that the UK has reached a dark and dangerous moment, as he describes it, and the country needs a glorious revolution. That sounds like commie talk to me. Glorious revolution. Has he been falling asleep reading the manifesto, has he? Yes, let us all rise up against the bourgeoisie. Glorious revolution. Revolutionary biscuits of Westminster. Rise up, poets. Anyway, Conservative chairman Kevin Hollindrake said the move came after he made a number of approaches to party leader Kemi Badenoch, pressing his case to be nominated for the House of Lords, but was rejected. Yeah, so there's a bit of a dash of sour grapes in all of this as well, isn't there, really? Please put me in the House of Lords, you know, £400 a day just for showing up. Just back to the article. Oh, it was only 2 months. He was only Chancellor for 2 months under Johnson. Although it does technically make him the most senior former Tory to join Reform so far. Shouty bloke, you waiting for Johnson to defect? Yeah, I can't say the B word. No, it's Alexander Boris Staffel Johnson, as far as I'm concerned. But would you be surprised? Well, I could see Nadine Doris has come up as well in the chat there more. She'll just go wherever Johnson goes, I guess. Did she do some interview with Sky about all of this? And it was kind of like they pretty much got her out of bed, and it was a video interview, not just over the phone and whatnot. A few people, I've not seen the interview, but I've heard about it. Anyway, it's probably god awful, that's for sure. And yeah, the double-sided irony of this is mind-blowing. Obviously, Reform also criticise the Conservative Party, but alas, their party is mostly made up of them. and vice versa. It's just, you know, the same, but maybe with a sprinkling, a hint more racism and authoritarianism. That's pretty much it. Unfortunately, some voters, those eligible to vote at the moment, are falling for this. But surely it's clear as day at this point. In fact, Reform's lead in the polls has actually dwindled recently. So which seat is this, by the way? Let's oh, he's changed constituency as well, of course. Yeah, he has. Used to be in Stratford upon Avon. Where is he now, though? Maybe I can't see the wood for trees. I might remember myself in a moment. That's all I want to say about that. Okay, people, just going to bring up an article here. Sort of UK politics, but also takes on to matters in Gaza as well. I can't remember exactly how long ago it was, but remember we were quite relieved that Tony Blair was ruled out of being involved in this Gaza peace board after it was rumoured that he might be on it. But what is the sodding point if you then replace him with Keir Starmer, who's as big of a Blairite as can be? Really? Arguably, maybe apart from maybe Mandy, there's probably never been a bigger Blairite in recent political history. So this would be awful, obviously. The Zionist without qualification on the Gaza, but of course, yeah, he's going to be a neutral, isn't he? It's part of the 20-point plan to end the war. The war. Oh, BBC. The war. Okay, so what was the Palestinian army? Can you... Hello? Navy? No. Air Force? No. They haven't even got a fucking Coast Guard. They haven't even got an airport. War. My arse. Of course, it's illegal occupation and genocide. So it's this organisation, this body, is expected to temporarily oversee the running of Gaza, manage its reconstruction, and be made up of world leaders. It's just, what is this, like 1948 all over again? They're going to call it the Bell End Declaration. Yeah, super states poring over maps, deciding who they're going to carve up for who. Or what they're going to carve up for who, I should say, and where. The exact details of his involvement were unclear after reports suggested some Middle Eastern states had objected to giving a role to Tony Blair, who deployed British forces as part of an illegal US-led military invasion in Iraq. But they say action. Military action. Which is, as far as news goes, the main stories tonight, something happened in which there was an action. There was a result, which was also a thing. We now go over to Action and Things correspondent Jeffrey Object. What's the latest down there, Jeffrey? And the increase, vague news. You're watching vague news. You're watching selective language. Yeah. So not a great amount of detail about what his role's going to be, but I certainly hope that there will be as much objection to his proposed involvement as there was to Blair's. Because it's just like for like. That's as like for like a swap as can be. Unless you were going to dig up Margaret Thatcher's corpse, revive her somehow, defy the laws of biology and physics. What an insult to the Palestinians as well. And it'll all be about private contracts, construction, military, of course, energy, fossil fuels, rare earth minerals, which aren't actually very rare, it's just some of them are very, very hard to refine and separate. It's not that there's not a large amount of them on the planet. That's a mini fact of the stream. One of. Join us on the Brews at 10 and get learned. I'll do your knowledge proper good, innit? Or you're talking about Chinese years, the right I.C.E, or is that now a new part of the conversation that's moved on from astrology? The wood snake. Yep, until February, and then it's Gung Hee Fat Choi. Another good point there in the chat, Graham. If it does kick off wholesale with Iran, completely agree with that. Smaller regimes in the Gulf may not last very long. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. Unfortunately, that's the situation we find ourselves in, one of history repeating. And despite the efforts of the League of Nations, the United Nations, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, I actually said the quiet part out loud there, didn't I? Freudian slip sort of thing. Yeah, with NATO. What is the good of them if we've ended up with this super state situation again, which is just the same as essentially the grandkids of Queen Victoria having at each other? There's no real difference in terms of the scale of the conflict that's coming up, and it just always ends up with allies against allies, Axis against allies, the coalition of the willing. And so many lives lost with it as well, of course. Tens and tens and tens of millions of people in just both World War I and II. Just two of the conflicts. And for what if we've ended up with super states that aren't held to account? Good point again, Graham. Let's check out another comedy clip now. This is the full version of one that I used a snippet of in a recent video. Speaks volumes about what we were just talking about, actually, the history repeating. So that point has given us a nice segue there. Thanks, Graham. BRICS, yes. Good point there, Shouty Block. There's another major institution coming into the fray. You've got Russia, China and India in there. You've got the two most populous countries on planet Earth for a start, and the largest country on Earth as well. So this is the full version of history repeating, and I think how a lot of people, especially the mainstream media, have been culpable in refraining from using certain words, but they just don't want to be realistic. But a spade's a spade, really. And I think Stephen Fry was on the BBC recently and said that what Trump is doing is fascist, to which, was it Kussenberg? It might have just been this last Sunday, actually. But she was, would you use such extreme language, or, you using the F word? Like, yeah, of course. You can't tippy-toe around the issue, because then you end up pretty much with this.
Nazi.
Wie bitte? Haben Sie mich gerade als Nazi beschimpft?
Na, Sie sind doch einer.
Das ist ja eine Unverschämtheit. Nur weil ich in der NSDAP und in der SS bin, bin ich noch lange kein Nazi. Wahrscheinlich bin ich auch noch rechtsextrem, oder was?
Ja, aber was sollen Sie denn sonst sein?
Ich bin vielleicht ein besorgter Bürger, der Angst vor Überfremdung hat. Aber ich bin nicht rechts. Und ich bin erst recht kein Nazi. Hey, Sie da? Sehe ich etwa wie ein Nazi aus?
Nö, würde ich jetzt nicht sagen.
Na, sehen Sie? Aber der ist wahrscheinlich für Sie auch ein Nazi, hm? Nazis, 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 lauter Nazis. Wenn einem die Argumente ausgehen, dann holt man schnell mal die gute alte Nazikeule raus.
Es hat doch nichts mit Nazikeule zu tun.
Sie machen sich das Leben sehr einfach. Nur weil jemand die Mainstream-Meinung nicht teilt, ist er gleich ein Nazi.
Aber Nazi sein ist doch längst Mainstream. Ihr Nationalsozialisten seid an der Macht.
Ach ja.
Been a bit bold on the algorithm with this one, I do have to say as well. If you're watching back later on, this bit might be cut. In fact, you might not even be hearing me now telling you that it's cut, because it will have been cut.
Ich vergaß. In Ihrer Welt sind ja alle Nazis. Der Führer ist wahrscheinlich für Sie auch ein Nazi, was?
Ja?
Jetzt reicht's aber. Führerbeleidigung. Mitkommen.
Das sind jetzt über...
Ja, ich weiß. Nazi-Methoden.
Awesome. Browser ballet. It says in the corner there. I think that's who I'm supposed to give credit to. Anyway, but I'll look that up and put a link in the description afterwards. That was really spot on there. That great parody Well, that's just hey. Oh no, I wouldn't say so. really good parody that. I love out like that, me. Is that UKIP? Yeah. Ah, Nigel, guten Abend. Was machen Sie hier in Deutschland? Ah, deine Frau ist eine Deutsche. Okay. That was good. I'm going to end on another positive note as well. Another positive story. Because we try and leave with smiles on our faces when we get through the mire of fascism. Just another positive one, another positive court result, this time for Animal Rising, who liberated some beagles, some poor dogs that were set for animal testing. But I'll just let the clip play through. Again, this is from Animal Rising. Great work there with the liberation of those beagles. You know, what kind of people on this planet can do such a thing to a defenceless animal? It's beyond appalling, it really is.
I'm Lou. I've just been found not guilty of burglary for rescuing beagle puppies from MBR Acres.
Hi, my name's Alan, and I've just been found not guilty for rescuing beagle puppies from MBR Acres.
I've just been found not guilty of burglary for rescuing beagle puppies from MBR Acres.
Hi, my name's Kat. Me, along with 3 other co-defendants, have just been found non-guilty.
I feel in absolute shock. This is what I'd always dreamed of, that 12 members of the public would look at what we did rescuing these beagle puppies from a terrible, terrible life and know that we were not burglars, we were rescuers, and all we wanted was better lives for those puppies.
I'm elated. I don't think it's really sunk in. It just kind of doesn't feel real.
I'm just overwhelmed. Like excitement. I'm speechless actually. I don't even know what to think.
I only got 2 opportunities to speak to the jury. There's 2 chances to tell them who I am, why I did what I did and what I did.
Within less than 90 minutes they came back and decided that we were all not guilty.
Such a win for the beagle puppies. The ones we rescued, the 18 that are living happy lives, but also all the puppies that we couldn't rescue that are still in MBR Acres.
I hope that this brings us one step closer to getting MBR Acres shut down so that we can protect the rest of the dogs who are still in there right now.
12 ordinary members of the public just said it's the right thing to do to rescue them from MBR Acres.
Absolutely amazing.
Well done, Animal Rising. There you can see the appeal to go and sign the petition to shut down MBR Acres at animalrising.org. Do recommend you go and sign that, people. Yeah, great stuff there. Like I said, Animal Rising, you might not be surprised to know there's a good bit of cross-pollination between organisations like JSO and XR and Animal Rising. In fact, they were formerly Animal Rebellion, now an organisation in their own right. Wonderful results, not guilty. Brilliant to know that court can come to the right conclusion as well. Someone who's been acquitted at protest myself, I know what that feeling's like, so yeah, that really is brilliant. Solidarity. Speaking of... Oh, sorry. I mean, that was somebody else's fault. Did it remotely. Speaking of solidarity, thank you once again to all the members on the channel. Yeah, 155 towards 250. We're getting there, people. Just 95 to go. And a reminder, thank you very much everybody who's renewed your own memberships recently. That's a really solid way of getting us towards that target. If you're watching back later on, just a reminder, super thanks are also open. There's also a Buy Me a Coffee page. If you don't have the means to contribute via YouTube, please check out the link in the description of the stream. And you've even got time, people, to make sure that you've hit thumbs up on the stream, perhaps shared some recent content around your social media. Really would appreciate that, and it does go, again, a great way to helping us pick up more subscribers. Many thanks again, everybody, for all your contributions.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Yes! Yes! Yes!
Graham, thank you very much for that super chat. Very generous as always, Solidari-Tea. Yeah, you're always welcome. Always great to see you in chat. Thanks a lot for your contributions. Great points earlier as well. And Viva Viva Palestina. Let's give that some thumbs up action. And a big up in the chat, please, everybody. And whilst you're bigging up Graham, I'm going to take a look for a raid. If you want to keep putting the world to rights into the early hours of the night, if you're watching in the UK, we've got No Justice there. We've also got, we've got this base as well. I can see one or two of you have already mentioned No Justice in the chat, so we'll go there. Won't delay any further. Great stuff. All lined up. Yep, make sure that you subscribe to No Justice when you get over there. Awesome channel. Co-recipient of Alternative YouTube Channel of the Year 2025. Davinia, you're already there. Well, we'll see you over there. And we'll be back tomorrow for PMQs. Of course, and Keith's catchphrases. Do join us there, whatever you're doing with the rest of your evening or whatever time you're watching the stream. Take care, everybody. My Lefty, I'll be seeing you soon. Power to the people. Free Palestine, Lebanon, Sudan, Yemen, Venezuela, the Fulton 24. The list goes on and on. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Good night.